It's the second time in a week that I've had my hands on the Paudie O'Rourke Cup, but who'll have their hands on it this evening coming out of Park Grattan in Inniskeen? It's the McElvanny Waste and Recycling Intermediate Championship Final. It's Donaghmoyne taking on Magheracloone. Now, one of the first people we meet here, a former player, an interested spectator today, Damien.
Yeah, interesting. I think the boys are in good shape. They're playing well all year. I think they've only been beat once the whole year round. So Donaghmoyne's coming with a good challenge there. The last few games they're picking up form, but I'd say, I'm convinced basically that Magheracloone will be strong enough in the attack to win the game out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, obviously coming in with form into the game as well.
Yeah, we have a good form. Our forwards are playing well. Probably the semi-final in Vale missed a bit too much, but all year they've been putting up great scores, from midfield up, and when you can take points like that, it's a big help.
Of course it is. You've been involved in big championship days yourself. I know there would have been at senior level, but championship day is championship day. What's it like to be on the opposite side of the fence?
Strange, but I've spent the last couple of years on the opposite side of the fence. You miss it obviously. The boys will have a good buzz going in, and there's nothing like these days to, this is what you want to be in the middle of it. Like outside, to be more nervous and anxious than any of the lads playing in the game. So it's something you'll never get over, playing. But look, the boys, it's their turn now, and wish them the best luck.
Wish them the best luck. Are you a quiet spectator?
I would be, yeah. I wouldn't get too. I'd just be quiet, yeah. Yeah, better being quiet. There's enough around you to do the shouting for you.
There is indeed. Listen, thanks a million.
No bother, Sean.
Cheers. Looking forward to it?
Looking forward to it, yeah. Very much so, yeah.
And why not? Back in a championship final, not that long ago from you were in them, I suppose, 2016.
It's not that long ago, yeah, that's right, yeah. Won it and beaten in Ulster then in Uri. Went to the final there as well.
That's right, so the form of that would be considerable then getting into today? Yeah,
it's much changed team maybe from that now until today. Hopefully it'll go well for us today.
Now, the interesting championship journey, penalties on the first day, coming from 11 points down then in another game as well. So it's a team that never gives up.
No, they were lucky, I'd say, at the end of the day there to get in there with the penalties and that. Unfortunate, Killian as well, and then the Vale game, as you know yourself, down in Donaghmoyne, coming from 12 points down, to eventually overcome Vale and eventually reach the final. They did. Over Cardiff then here in the semi-finals.
Yeah, indeed, is right. And the thing about it, I suppose, it's a fighting spirit within the side. That's
absolutely,
hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They're gelling now together now this last few games, and hopefully they can do it here today. Magheracloone, they're stubborn enough outfit, like ourselves, don't never give up.
Indeed, good local derby.
Good local derby.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Thanks a million.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, bye. Joined here, it's interesting, I know Keith, you acknowledged to me, I should have picked up on it myself as well, a former manager of the side here as well, and intermediate championship final, and as I say, championship finals don't come around all that easy. It's nice to be in them.
It's nice to be in them, yeah. Well, it's even nicer to win them. We have been in enough now, we've lost over the years, but today they're going in good shape today. It'll be great to get back up senior, and that's the main obstacle today, is not about winning the championship, getting back up senior.
Yeah, of course, the drop down from last year, and so much went on maybe within the club and outside of the club and one thing and another. It's, I suppose, brilliant to see that didn't cause any sort of grief or break up inside in the team anyway.
Well, no, the team has just put that to one side. Like, in fairness, they've been all around the country training and looking for training facilities and everything, but on the pitch hasn't affected them, and so hopefully today we'll get back up senior where they belong.
Good local derby to look forward to as well. Donaghmoyne will be wanting to see him.
Absolutely. It's always a tough game at Donaghmoyne, and even a few minutes to go, there'll be nothing in it to say. It'll be a tight, hard-fought contest, and it's for the big players to stand up today and be counted.
It is indeed. Where will it be won or lost?
In the forward line. Both teams have good sets of forwards, and it'll be a high-scoring game, I predict now. So whoever can handle the pressure the best will come out on top at the end.
Great stuff, Keith. Thanks a million.
All right, Sean. Right.
Thanks a million. I'm joined here by a former manager, indeed, of Donaghmoyne. It'd be an interesting spectator today, Farrelly.
Yes, I am. Yeah, hoping for a good game. Hopefully, see how it goes.
Now, being there in 2016, this team, they've experience of, I suppose, that big day in championship, up to senior, back down again, and looking maybe to make the step back up again.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed to be back down intermediate. Would have seen last year maybe it was a wasted opportunity. Today, they didn't play well in the final 2016. Be hoping to expect better now. 50-50 game. If they get a hold of midfield, I think they'll beat Magheracloone. That's
Yeah,
be honest.
I was just going to say that's probably where it could be won or lost.
Yeah, I would say midfield is where it would be won or lost. Magheracloone would be expecting maybe to dominate there, but Donaghmoyne maybe if they get their matchups right and they get enough ball into the forwards, I think they'll beat them. Yeah.
And the other thing about it, I suppose, as well, is the local derby feel to it. It's Southern Derby in a Southern venue and that as well.
Yeah, I'd be expecting a few tasty challenges early on. Maybe boys, Magheracloone maybe try to lay down a marker on some of the young Donaghmoyne forwards. Hopefully the referee stands firm, doesn't let that go on, and hopefully Donaghmoyne's win out. All right.
Good stuff.
Thanks. Is that all right?
Good
luck.
Now, I know, Noel, you're involved maybe with the younger lads here that'll be playing at half time, and that's what it's all about. Whatever the championship final for the seniors, it's a big opportunity for the younger age teams to get involved as well.
Oh, that's right, yeah, they love it. They're looking forward all week since they heard the word we're playing, and listen, it's great to see it, and two local teams going ahead, and even underage to give each other a good old game, so it's a bit of crack there, like.
A bit of crack, and that's what it's all about. And I say these days, from Magheracloone, they probably come around right often when you're in the senior grade. Not that often because you haven't been down in intermediate in a while, but looking at this, it's a step to go back up senior again.
Yeah, hopefully now, it's going to be tight now. It's not going to be easy. This level, anything goes and anything can happen on the day, and it just depends on who puts in the most effort on the day. Like, two good teams, but on paper, everyone's saying Magheracloone, but I'd love to see it, but Donaghmoyne's going to be there to be taken down, but hopefully now, it's not going to be much. I can't see it being much now today.
I was going to just say that, yeah, and a local derby and all that you throw into it and everything else as well, it's a real mix.
Yeah, and with the weather, bit of lady luck could help here now, and a bad skid of a ball and a defender or forward, literally either way, you just don't know. First 10 minutes to tell the tale, who sets down the marker first, but key players like Tommy Freeman, wintered players will know the crack, Scobie, Jones, hopefully they'll put the shoulder to the wheel again, get them over the line, get back up.
I was just going to say, the experience could be key.
Hoping that, yes. Once it's not too much experience on the legs, that's the other thing, but they'll be cute enough. Tommy and Scobie and the boys there's a couple of other boys coming through, Gavin, Doogan, so massive players, like. And then we've a lot of young players, young Murray and Paudie, McMahon, played Division 1 underage football, so this is good for them now, see what they're made of, and side up. Do it or don't today, and that's it.
Indeed, it's right. And finally, just back to the young lads as well. A few words about them, just to go out and enjoy the occasion as well. Going to be a big crowd in, buzz around the ground and everything else.
Oh, that's it, yeah. They're mad to get going. Like, the great potential there. There's a lot of bloodlines in here, Freemans and that old cracking as well. So they won't be bet today either. Like, and we'll not be shouting at them to go out half and half either. It's go for it as well. But no, it's great to see it, and good teams there in Donaghmoyne, and we get on well with their selectors as well. Played against each other, and it's great to see it. Like, it's all around, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, the best of luck.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks. Johnny David Gabriel, we were talking to the counterpart on the underage team on the opposite side. Better get a word with you, Gabriel. As I mentioned, big day for obviously the senior lads, but a big day for the young lads too.
Big day for the young lads too. There's a lot of work being done in Donaghmoyne at the minute at underage level and that, you know. But for these lads, these 9 and 10 year olds and that, you know, it's playing in front of a big crowd, you know, it's brilliant for them, so there's a great experience for them and that, you know, later on and that, you know.
It's an occasion they won't forget no matter what way it goes.
It's a big occasion for them, so it is, and they won't forget it, especially playing in front of that stand there. You know, they'll probably get a wee bit of goosebumps as well and that, you know.
And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about now, so it is.
What about the game itself? How do you see it going?
Game, it's a 50-50. There's damn all between the two best teams in intermediate playing the Magheracloone's top and Donaghmoyne second in the league and that, you know, it'll be damn all in it in the end. I'm going to go with Donaghmoyne by 2 or 3 points. So
I was just going to say, yeah, it'll be that fine a line, fine a margin. You'd be hoping maybe not be a mistake that could be on the day that could define the result, but it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Wet ball, the ground's going to be a wee bit wet and that, you know, and you'd hope it won't go down to that. You know, you just hope the best team wins it in the end and that, you know. That's all you want.
That's all you want. Well, listen, the best luck and enjoy the occasion with the young lads.
I will, and hopefully up Donaghmoyne.
Good man. So, you're welcome here to Park Grattan in Inniskeen. Oh, it was a beautiful setting for this. The weather a little bit dull and overcast. Thankfully, the rain is holding off. The two teams have been announced to us here. No changes as per match programme. Always a nice way to start any game. And we'll take a look just at Donaghmoyne firstly here, just going through the last of their warm-up stretches and sort of loosening up of the limbs. And in goals, Cian Garland will start. He's going to start with the number 16 jersey on him there, as announced, owing to a clash of colours with the Magheracloone team. So it's Cian Garland in goal. Full-back line of Fergal, Keenan, Killian, Coleman and Stephen Cunningham. Half-back line of James McKahey, Stephen Martin and Mikey Murnahan. Middle of the field, Niall, Keenan and Frank Markey. A half-forward line of Stephen Finnegan, Darren McElroy and Cormac O'Connor. With Davy Garland, Porrick Donaghy and Ronan McDonald completing the starting 15 for Donaghmoyne. Just on the bench for them as well, playing a part in the extended panel is Gareth McDonald, Kieran Martin, Jimmy McSkeen, Conor Finnegan, Conor Comiskey, Joe Kelly, Seamus Markey, Oran Martin, Aaron Courtney, Ryan Mohan, Bernard Kelly, Darren Coleman, Thomas Finnegan, Kieran Finnegan, Tommy Finn, Oisin Waters, Owen Morris, Niall Megan, James Boylan, James Finnegan and Darren McCooey. So quite an extensive panel there in Donaghmoyne here today for this intermediate championship final. They're managed of course by Jared McGill with selectors Liam Finnegan and Hugh McGroder. Their opposition for today then, Magheracloone, dropping back down out of senior football last year and immediately looking to make the step back up again. They have featured in a number of senior championship finals in recent times. 1992 their last success at intermediate level indeed. And taking a look at their team, starting in goal is David Kirk. Full back line of Michael Jones, James Ward and Paul McArdle. Half back line of Conor McKeown, James Ward and Killian Rudden. And then in the middle of the field, Jamie Kieran and Gavin Doogan. I'm just wondering, is that a mistake in the match programme? There's two James Ward. I'm assuming one of them could be Pete Ward, the captain there. A half forward line is Barry Kieran, Alan Kieran and Paudie McMahon. Alan McCahey, Michael Metzger and Tommy Freeman completing their starting 15. As mentioned, middle of the field is Jamie Kieran and Gavin Doogan. And the subs then on the bench is Jack Kirk, Niall Marron, Ryan Farrelly, Liam O'Murray, Jack Doogan, Cian Freeman, John McMahon, Porrick Kirk, Peter Lambe, Jonathan Donnelly, Ronan Freeman, Damien Rudden and Ronan McKeown, Kieran McMahon, Peter Chute, Ryan McNulty, Sean Finnegan, Shane Burns, James Delaney, Adam Martin, James Lambe and Daniel Badminton. So again, another extensive panel of players available there to the Magheracloone management, which of course is James Kieran as manager and selectors, Frankie Doogan, Paul Jones and Jody Clark.
Shinna Fina fall ataf galegeren Windar slew Harchin the Ronnie Queen Favoich Fesser Shan Shira Shinsher Fasta New York far when she ran off in troll. Anak the hymns a barn a well like anner gwel con bosh no sail like any script we lock na be lair shall live cani garona be.
As always, a beautiful rendition of Ara on the Vein there from the local club member Laura Kelly. Perfect setting in Inniskeen Park Grattan. As I noted there, there's always something special about coming to this club ground. Thankfully the rain that had been about in the earlier part of the morning is holding off now at this stage. There'll still just be a sort of a greasiness off the surface, no doubt. Andrew Mullen is our referee out in the middle with us here. He's going to be ably assisted today by Saviour Kyle and David Sheedy as his linesman, and then Jim O'Rourke as our fourth official and standby referee here. And the game is up and underway, and it's dropped down into the hands of Gavin Doogan from Magheracloone. Really hard to call this one between the two sides. Talking to supporters coming in is with Paudie McMahon here at the moment, so it is, and he's going in on the edge of the day and still continuing on as Paudie McMahon. The crowd below me here all stand up. Is there a penalty to start us off with here? He's running in, Andrew Mullen. Oh, it's just outside. Oh, well, I tell you, that's one of those ones. Maybe his momentum carried him in, but Andrew Mullen was happy enough from what he's seen that was just outside the area, and an opportunity for Alan McCahey of Magheracloone to get the first score. But what a mazy little run by Paudie McMahon there. The Donaghmoyne defence kind of just stood off him. They weren't too sure what way to deal with him there. And inside the opening 45 seconds with us here, it's Magheracloone that are off to the perfect start with Allan McCahey and that point from a free. But Paudie McMahon mazing his way through the Donaghmoyne defence. They'll not want to be allowing that to happen for too often, as the goalkeeper Cian down to her left gets the ball out, and it's a breaking ball, drops into the hands then of Darren McElroy, and he pops a little ball up in front here, looking and trying to get a ball in front there, obviously to Cormac O'Connor. As a foot put to it from the Magheracloone player, puts it out over the far sideline ball taken quickly, kicked down in front here to Ronan McDonald, playing it right up in front then to Paudie O'Donoghue trying to just come back out onto the right leg, didn't work for him, so he plays it back then. That looks like Mikey Marron that's coming in from that side and puts it out and across to the wrong side and out wide. It'll register as the first wide of the afternoon for Donaghmoyne. Magheracloone already on the scoreboard. Good kick out from David Kirk there to find his midfielder Damien. A strong hand coming across there just to break that one away, because that was going to cause all sorts of danger inside there. It was Stephen Finnegan that got a hand of that one. They were again looking inside for Paudie McMahon, but Stephen Finnegan with the strong hand, and he's confident enough to put that one the whole way across in front and drop it down in front to Shane Garland, wearing the number 16 jersey just because of the clash of colour that would have been with Magheracloone. Plays out in front to Killian Coleman as full forward, roving very, very deep. Ronan McDonald again getting involved in it out round the middle, so constant moving about of players from positions where you'd normally note them, and it's inside. Frank Markey trying to play it up inside. O'Donoghue again wins it. He's getting out in front on a couple of those, trying to get it back onto the right leg, plays it back out in front then to Frank Markey here once again, and Frank Markey then possibly rushed his effort a little. He did. It's out to the wrong side of the post in the second wide for Magheracloone, but he just seemed to rush himself there. Possibly maybe could have just taken another second or so to settle on it, and David Kirk slips as he tries to get that one out. Magheracloone are going to capitalise on it out round the middle, and they're putting a little ball inside, and Davy Garland just hasn't gotten anything inside there as of yet, but it's back out, and it's with Niall Keenan here, and he pops it back, and he's looking for the support of Darren McElroy, and he's managed to do that. Darren now swapping it over onto the far side again. It's a race inside then with Cormac O'Connor once more, but winning the race was Pete Ward. He's noted down in the programme book as James Ward, but that's Pete Ward, the captain. James Ward's out in front of him then with number 6 on his back. That ball out over the far sideline, going for another sideline ball. It's Darren McElroy that retrieves it and takes it very quickly. Play it back in front here of Frank Markey, and Frank Markey then play it back over in front then to Ronan McDonald from a long way out, and now they get the accuracy, and we're all level. It's been all Magheracloone, in fairness, in those last few minutes with us here. Or Donaghmoyne, I should be saying, it's been all of them, and they've finally got something for their efforts. Ronan McDonald getting one from play. David Kirk, not a breath of a breeze. You'll see the flags, well, possibly maybe the flag of Inniskeen and Cromartin fluttering ever so slightly. Cromartin, of course, featured in the minor game before the intermediate final with us here. High hand going in there, and underneath it was Allan Kieran, and he's down, and Andrew Mullen will have a little bit of housework to do here. Firstly, a hook is out, and we could have the first caution of the afternoon coming our way as well, and it's a yellow card to the number 6 there, Stephen Martin. Just a little too aggressive in his tackle, but Allan Kieran will be picking himself up off the ground. Gavin Doogan is standing with ball in hand, ready to get the action back underway with us. And I see the number 7, Killian Rudden, right out wide on the sideline with us here as well. Now he turns and walks back again, and Gavin Doogan opts to go. And they didn't see. Stood waiting. The one thing you don't do in any sort of championship final is stand waiting on a ball, but Magheracloone have managed with Paul McArdle to sort that one out for themselves. Back inside then to Michael Jones, certainly a stalwart of Magheracloone football teams. Plays back out front then to Allan Kieran. All this on the 65, and now the ball being placed across in front here to Barry Kieran. Barry Kieran turning and trying to get away from the shackles and the intentions, and the ball played in now in front to number 14 Metzger. That's Michael Metzger, and he plays it off then into the corner there, and it's good hands from Shane Garland, and underneath his crossbar to pull that one down. He plays it out in front then to Stephen Finnegan, and quick interchange of hands there again. So there is Stephen Finnegan still back in possession of it, wins himself the free, and Donaghmoyne will clear the change, or danger 1 point apiece. We're looking at the clock, and we're coming up on 5.5 minutes gone in this McIlvanny's Waste and Recycle Intermediate Championship final. Stephen Finnegan using his pace to break right through the middle, and nobody's closing him down. Stephen Finnegan's continuing on. Wonderful individual score from Stephen Finnegan. He put the head down after burners on, and there was nobody who was going to be catching him as he got on the end of that one. 5.5 minutes gone, and Donaghmoyne, after very nearly conceding an early goal penalty for themselves, now find themselves 2-1 up, and they've won the kick out again. Over on that far side, it looks like Michael Marron again is coming through. Ronan McDonald, and Ronan McDonald makes no mistakes. Paudie Donnelly was shouting inside looking for it, but I think when you've placed yourself in them positions, you back yourself to take the score, and that's exactly what they've done. Ronan McDonald with his second of the afternoon, a third for Donaghmoyne, and we're 6 minutes on the clock. David Kirk again out with his kick out. Gavin Doogan appeared to be pushed on the back as he went up looking for that one. It breaks down, and here he comes, the man that they want to see on the ball inside. That is Davy Garland, and he wins himself the free. And if anyone can inject a little bit of danger and fear into that Magheracloone rear guard, Davy Garland has won the ball a little bit soft of itself, so the second ball now to be gotten, placed in, and Liam Finnegan, I think there that it is returned it back to him, and he might go in and have a word with him then as well on the return of the ball, so he will. Obviously a Magheracloone ball they were playing with, because it's been returned back to them here. So Davy Garland, who won himself the free, now poised to take this one, 3 points to 1 in favour of his side. Captain indeed of the team as well. Magheracloone would have been coming in favourites in this one, going on their form as Davy catches that one. Oh, that's a lovely score from Davy Garland, right on point with that one, and they've opened up a 3-point lead for themselves, 4 points to 1 in favour of Magheracloone. And David Kirk has been in difficulty with his kickouts. It was notable he slipped on one of his kickouts, but just getting it difficult to find any of his midfielders. There was movement and runners going for him there, and he places it out, and it's going to come down again among a clutch of Donaghmoyne players, and they managed this time Magheracloone to turn it over, and James Ward carrying it out, number 6 on his back, the centre half back. He has options to his left. He takes that option into the hands of Allan Kieran. He spills it, and James Ward has time to go back and get it. He thought he'd won himself a free. He played it out to Tommy Freeman and takes the torn ball back then into Allan Kieran, and Allan Kieran just out to the wrong side of the post and wide. First wide of the afternoon for Magheracloone, but really from their opening opportunity of getting in for a goal, that's the first real attack of any sort of menace they've put together there, as Cian Garland gets his kick out to this near side. The ball's going to win the race right out over the sideline, and sideline ball here for Magheracloone. James Ward directly below us here, going to take it, kicks off the left, looking inside, finds Tommy Freeman, made a return back to club football when needs must, dropped down from senior football last year. And Gavin Doogan, well, he's pulled and wolled and dragged down. Oh, he's adjudged to have overcarried Andrew Mullen, and in fairness to Gavin Doogan, I think if the side with him there, he was swung round, that put the extra movement into him, and possibly maybe will feel a little bit hard done by that one with Ronan McDonald with the ball, plays it over and cross here on front. James McKeown, and James McKeown carrying it up through the centre, back again, making use of Fergal Keenan there. Fergal Keenan back into Ronan McDonald. Ronan McDonald playing very deep out from the corner forward position, but Michael Jones read where that one was going inside. Himself and Paudie Donnelly in a good battle inside. Paudie Donnelly had won the first couple of balls that come in, but Michael Jones reading that one, and now Magheracloone will look to try and put something together for themselves here, coming out with their number 12. That number 12 is Paudie McMahon. Seems a long time ago for me to get in for that early opportunity. Find themselves trailing on the scoreboard. Nice ball played in front of Allan McCahey, and Allan McCahey turns, a nice score, settling score for Magheracloone with 9.5 on the clock. Allan McCahey with the point after the concession of 4 scores at the other end. Cian Garland having to go and retrieve the ball, take it back, place it on the kicking tee. It'll be interesting to see David Kirk maybe just in difficulty at times trying to find one of the black jerseys out in front of him. Cian Garland, one of his kickouts did go out over the near sideline with us here, so he's going to go the opposite way this time. He is indeed. That's a well placed ball out. It's going to be a challenge on. A wonderful mark taken there by Niall Keenan as well. He had that one read from a long way out, put his name on it, and then unfortunately puts it out over the sideline after all the good work. And Magheracloone will be happy enough just to play this one back, and they do that the whole way back to David Kirk, and Michael Jones has given him an option if he needs it, and opts instead to carry himself, so he does, comes out to the 20-metre line and pops it back over crossing. That's Pete Ward, it is indeed, over on that far side that has taken that one off him, and Pete just stepping inside. The first challenge coming his way, plays it off then to Gavin Doogan. Busy as always, Gavin Doogan will cover every blade of grass in Park Grattan this afternoon, I can tell you that much, and he plays it front then of Conor McKeown with us here. Conor McKeown laying it off, and here they come again. Nice ball played in front, the sort of ball any forward coming running out on wants to. Inside to Allan Kieran. Allan Kieran putting it right across back down in front of Paudie McMahon. He's pulled and Waldorf out of it again, and he hits the. Oh, it's a. What is it? It is a goal. I wasn't so sure because it seemed to go right through the net. The power it was put in with, and even the crowd here as well wasn't so sure where it went. It is a goal from Paudie McMahon, and I think it went through the net with such force it lifted the net, went out underneath it, but the green flag was raised because the crowd all just stopped momentarily as well. They weren't too sure of as to what had happened there. Well, we're back on the way again, 1-2 to 4. Well, Magheracloone threatened that in the opening 45 seconds with Paudie McMahon. He's got in for a second. Paudie McMahon, I should be saying, he's got in for a second opportunity, and the sheer power of the effort meant it went right through the net. So 1-2 to 4. Mikey Marron and Donaghmoyne on the ball here again, playing it back to Darren McElroy, and Donaghmoyne just settling down now ever so slightly. Frank Markey, long speculative ball inside. Cian Donny trying to come up and underneath that one, drops down out to Niall Keenan. Niall Keenan back out looking for Paudie Donaghy once more. He bends it back, he turns it, comes up and pops a little ball out to the side here. Oh, it just goes through the hands there of Cormac O'Connor. I think maybe he was already getting himself ready to turn and carry and forgot the ball had to be in his possession. Gavin Doogan then inside to Michael Metzger. Michael Metzger playing it off, and it just again goes through the hand, and he's going to come across. He doesn't get into it. Mikey Marron gets the ball away from him, and now it's going with a turn with Killian Coleman crossing through the middle. Ball being played up in front. Davy Garland's going to get out ahead of that one. Used all of his pace to get inside, and ahead of Paul McArdle there. Goes to ground, has to pick the ball back up again. He's done that. Andrew Mullen signaling to him that he had done enough to get it up. Oh, wonderful score, Davy Garland. He done all the work himself inside there on that one, so he did. He levels matters up for us here. He was under all sorts of pressure. He got back up again. There's a player down here to our right hand side in need of attention, but that was a wonderful effort from Davy Garland to level matters up with us here, and there's 12 minutes gone here in this first half as we do have a break. And it was the number 14 Paudie Donaghy, so obviously he picked up a knock when he come out on that initial part of the play, but thankfully he's back up. It appears to be maybe just in on the back of the leg that the problem is. There's plenty of water going in as well, and a couple of instructions also going in also as well. 1-2 to 5, we're all square here. That goal would be the big talking point for Paudie McMahon, and the sheer power that he put behind the effort as well. Now David Kirk down to my right hand side, putting this one out. He's looking for Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan making the mark. Good mark taken by him. The whistle from Andrew Mullen, the referee, telling him yes, that was a mark. He plays it off then to James Ward. James Ward again. There's lots of field opening up on the middle here, so it is. Both teams have been guilty of this, and a lovely score from James Ward. Well, we've seen that now happen on a couple of occasions where the field just opens up in the middle for both sets of players. Stephen Finnegan done it for Donaghmoyne at one stage. Magheracloone now have capitalised on it as well, and I'm sure both management teams will be taking a look at this and saying, how is that space opening up right down the middle for players to be able to run into there? And Shane Garland with his kick out, it drops down inside, and waiting on it had been Conor McKeown. He didn't attempt to go up. He knew the breaking ball would possibly fall down into his hands. Oh, great tackle coming in there from Darren McElroy just to break that one away from him, and it's over inside then to Stephen Martin. Stephen Martin again making use of the support player that had been coming his way. A nice little bit of work being done here by the number 10. That number 10 is Stephen Finnegan. Stephen Finnegan's turning inside. Well, he went on one of these runs a little earlier on. It's got very dull. You have a feeling it could be rain to fall with us here. It's with Paudie Donaghy. Paudie Donaghy out on the right boot again. Michael Jones knows he has to come back on the right if he wants to have an effort with Mikey Marron. Mikey Marron cutting through it on the right boot. It's out to the wrong side. And why? But Michael Jones knew exactly that Paudie Donaghy wanted to be coming back out there, possibly on the right leg, and closed off that initially for him. It's got dull here, a little bit of nip of it in the air as well, and you wonder, is the rain very far away? But it's still 1-3-5. That 1 point lead in favour of Magheracloone. And here they come again attacking. Nice ball played up right in front there to the number 13. That number 13 for them is Allan McCahey. He turns, he takes one look at the post, but unfortunately his luck on his eye just wasn't in. It's out to the wrong side. Second wide of the afternoon for Magheracloone. 3 wides for Donaghmoyne. Ball is vacated the field. It's out in the car park obviously somewhere, and here comes another ball coming in now from the near side. So Shale Garland will be going over and getting it for himself, placing it on the kick and tee and getting the action back underway again. And I'm wondering, will someone make arrangements for another ball to go down maybe and be acting as a spare down there? But at the moment it's Shane Garland, kick and tee down to our left hand side. The instructions are constantly and regularly being run in here as well from both management teams, so they are. As Shane Garland disguised the kick beautifully there out to Mikey Marron. It just goes through his hands, and it's interesting to note that Mikey doesn't have the gloves on. I'm wondering, will he put a call in maybe to get gloves for himself? That just seemed to spill through his hands, but Donaghmoyne have retained possession of the ball. Most important of all from their point of view is with Niall Kieran there in the middle of the field. Nice ball played back then in front of the support player of James McCahey. Going through the hands, the umbrellas are going up on the far side, so the rain has arrived with us here. Massive crowd, it must be said as well. The word went out 5-10 minutes prior to throw in that the covered stand with us here was full. You can look across, you'll see the terracing over on the far side as well now is filled up. The umbrellas are going up and the rain is spilling down, so that'll just add to the conditions now as well, as Stephen Martin puts that long high speculative ball inside. Paudie Donny has won that one again. Michael Jones is right in on him there, putting pressure on Paudie Donny, doing very well. He's managed to come back out with it again, so he goes to ground once more. Ball is popped out, squirmed out there, but Michael Jones is in on it, knew exactly where to be, where to get it. He plays it out to Killian Rudden and it's back in through the hands once more, and Gavin Doogan then coming to the raid there as well, as the rain now pours down with us here in Park Grattan and Inniskeen. Make for even more difficult conditions, I would have thought, for these players. James Ward coming and giving an option right out over then to the far side. Magheracloone building with the number 10 over there. That's Barry Kieran cutting back inside here into the middle of the field, looking across and looks and sees that Allan Kieran has given him an option. Allan Kieran stepping inside the first of the tackles. It's coming his way there. Michael Metzger thought he was going to get body in front of that one, but he didn't. Donaghmoyne read where it was going. It's going to be a race for possession, shoulder to shoulder. Ball is kept in indeed here with Jamie Kieran, done very, very well there to keep that ball in and stop it from going out over the end line. It's with Conor McKeown. Conor McKeown dropping it inside here and popped down in front to the number 13, Allan McCahey. He makes no mistake. He had a couple of opportunities earlier on. He makes no mistake at the second time of asking there. And it's 18 minutes gone. It's 1-4-5. A good recovery from Magheracloone. After the concession of 4 points, they've scored a goal and a point. Davy Garland with that wonderful individual score of his own then at the opposite end, and then a further 2 points being tagged on to leave it 1-4-5. Scoreboard hasn't been updated. I'm sure that went over. We'll have to just do a double check on that one. Again, Magheracloone coming breaking out with Conor McKeown here. It's not a day to try and get the fancy pick up, but his time and a great tackle. Mikey Marron come in then, got a hand on him onto that one, so he did. And Conor McKeown under all sorts of pressure here. He wins himself the free. The point has gone up on the scoreboard. It is 1-4-5. It's Gavin Doogan that takes delivery of the short free kick to him there after the foul on Conor McKeown. Nice ball torn back past then to Paudie McMahon. Paudie McMahon from a long, long way out. He punches the air with that one as well. Great score from Paudie McMahon. And all of a sudden, there's 3 between them. End-to-end stuff here. Credit to both teams for the quality of football they're giving us. Owen, as I say, simply to the conditions as well. The number 7, Mikey Marron, has gone down inside there as well. Picked up a knock maybe in that last interchange of play. But an exciting contest here between these two sides. Southern derby, as I say, in a southern venue. Rain coming down. That'll add to conditions as well with us here. Magheracloone with the opening score. Allan McCahey after 45 seconds from a free after Paudie McMahon looked, he had got inside for a goal, possibly maybe a penalty, but referee judge was just outside the 13-metre line, but the point was scored. And then those 4 unanswered points from Donaghmoyne, from Ronan McDonald, Stephen Finnegan a second for Ronan McDonald, and Davy Garland by the 8th minute had given them a 4 points to 1 lead. Allan McCahey then with a point from play in the 9th minute, and a minute later Paudie McMahon did get in for that goal that he had threatened in the opening seconds. Davy Garland then with a wonderful individual score down to our right hand side in the 12th minute. It's 3 further points from Magheracloone, from James Ward, Allan McCahey and Paudie McMahon that has given them that 1-5 lead. The goal, the all-important goal from Paudie McMahon, the telling score. So Cian Garland down to our left. A lot of height on that one. It's going to drop down. It's into the hands. He just didn't get the hand to it there. He done very well to get it up at the second time of asking, did Frank Markey. And now there's a pulling of the ball out of his hand, but he managed to get the free kick away to Stephen Finnegan, and Stephen Finnegan doing again, charging right through the middle, and he just pulled that one. He was on the run, pace was on him, pressure was coming in on him as well, and he just dragged it out to the wrong side of the post and wide. But it's very, very telling. Both teams are exploiting a lot of space right up the middle, so they are, and are capitalising on it by times as well. It's inside with Jamie Kieran here, Stephen Martin trying to get a hand across in front of that, and a judge that there was a little push in on the back, and Mikey Murnahan seemed to catch then Alan Kieran as he was going past him there as well. And David Sheehy, the near sideline man here, is going to go in just and look for the ball to be returned back. Stephen Martin does get possession of it there. It's Alan Kieran that was down and caught on the ankle. Andrew Mullen happy that the action will continue on. Mikey Murnahan does have the gloves on him now. I noted that he might be in need of them. A little dummy pass and plays it back out in front here to Darren McElroy. Darren McElroy across down in front to Fergal Keenan, the corner back up, working very, very deep at the minute, so he is, but plays it over in front to Stephen Cunningham. Stephen Cunningham back through the hands then to the number 10. That's Stephen Finnegan. Stephen looking to see can he exploit a wee bit more space. He'll not now, because all of a sudden Magheracloone have pulled their defence back and have crowded out that middle part. They have noted that there's too much has been coming through the middle on them there. Paudie Donnelly playing it up in front then to the number 12 to Cormac O'Connor. Cormac O'Connor putting it right across, looking for Davy Garland, goes to ground but gets himself back up again. He's played a nice little ball inside here, an opportunity. A lovely little layoff back again. It just goes behind. It could still be an opportunity. Davy Garland, wonderful goal, Davy Garland. But it was the pop pass off there. Well, the Rugby World Cup is on at the moment. That's what you'd call the pop pass from Paudie Donnelly there, back out again. Davy Garland, who had been involved initially in the move, finishes the move back of the net, and we're all square once again. Well, we did talk there was going to be very, very little between these sides, and that surely is the case now. 1-5 apiece, can't be separated. Michael Jones took delivery of the short kicker, plays it down in front there to Barry Kieran, back again then to Michael Jones once more. Looking inside is the movement starting from the Magheracloone full forward line. It's over with Alan Kieran, none the worst of a knock that he picked up there earlier on. Plays it back again to Barry Kieran, and now Barry popping the ball inside. Referee noted that the player inside, Alan McCahey, was being held there. Good spot from Andrew Mullen. The holding was going on, and this will be a simple 20 metre free, in fact. Back on the 13 metre line, and a simple one for Alan McCahey to pop over the bar and put them one back up again. Cian Garland just calling for reinforcements on the line. It's not going to be required, as Alan McCahey puts that one over to put them one up again. 23 minutes in, entertaining fair. The umbrellas are still up, but the rain appears to have eased off ever so slightly. Still that sort of light mist drizzle falling as Cian Garland gets this one right out into the middle and pops down, and again he's done it again. Conor McKeown just stood waiting, breaking ball, dropped down into his hands, into Paudie McMahon, and Cian Garland doing very well, coming right out onto his 20 metre, 13 metre line to take that one. Good goalkeeping from Cian Garland, and Stephen Finnegan going looking try, can he build on the attack with Killian Coleman. Killian Coleman laid it off inside there to the number 8, that was Niall Keenan, and they're popping it inside, and Davy Garland's going to be in a race, and he done very well, get right out onto the end line and pull that one back in again. Davy Garland, he cuts across, there's a hand got to that, broke it down, and it's Magheracloone that are going to clear up with James Ward popping it out, looking for Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan just lost his footing momentarily, and ball was there to be one strong tackle coming across and another strong tackle coming in. Well, I tell you what, you're going to earn your free about here, and Mikey Marron definitely does earn one for himself there as well. But the official allowing the game to run its course. It's Donaghmoyne take the quick free back again. I think that's Stephen noticed the number 5 inside there. That's who that was, James McCahey, and he comes across in then to Ronan McDonald. Ronan McDonald obviously operating as a sweeper as such, I suppose, with the 15 on his back. He's playing a lot of the football out around the middle and down on the opposing 45. Magheracloone, and that middle corridor that we talked about where so much space was being exploited, that has all been closed up now. So Magheracloone have made the change in that regard. So Stephen Finnegan turns inside, he wins himself the free, and an opportunity. It may be quite a distance out for, well, we'll not question the abilities of Davy Garland, that's for sure, but that's well outside the 45 metre line, the one that's marked in front of him, so you can use your own eye to judge and adjust as to how far back from that he is. I would envisage he's a good 3-4 yards possibly, so this will be quite a distance for this one, so it will. Davy Garland, Tommy Freeman, just not often you'd find him back on an opposing or in his own 45 metre line, but that's where he is at the moment, and he's just having a little bit of friendly banter with Fergal Keenan as Davy Garland measures this one up. He catches it, it's going to come out, it's going to be broken down inside, and Magheracloone with James Ward are looking to play it out, and that's what they've done to Killian Rudden. Killian Rudden playing over then to Conor McKeown, getting on a lot of ball, and Gavin Doogan now coming, carrying out from this near side. If he looks across and does a swap of play right over the far side, there's players available for him. That's exactly what he does over in front then to Allan Kieran, and Allan Kieran then laid it off to the number 8, that's James Ciaran. Back again then to Allan once more, and Allan from quite a distance out, and that'll be a wonderful score. That's a great score considering the conditions from Allan Kieran there. 26 minutes. Gavin Doogan had been carrying on this near side with us, spotted that players were available over on that far side and made use of it. 27 minutes gone. That's been a cracking 27 minutes that has passed us by here as well. 1-7 to 1-5. Magheracloone on a number of occasions now having come from behind to go ahead, and Donaghmoyne have done likewise. 2 cracking goals we've seen in that time as well. Shane Garland changed the direction of his kick out. It's going to break out and inside. Ooh, was that touched on the ground? No, referee's happy enough that it wasn't, but the second ball was picked up by the player on his knees then. I think that's what he's adjudged in there. So Allan Kieran and Magheracloone down in front to Michael Metzger. Michael Metzger turning around. What's available for him? What option? A little return pass back then to Allan Kieran once more. He got the last point. He's going to go and put another one to his name. He is indeed, and that's the difference just at the moment, is that support play that's coming through from Magheracloone, particularly from their half forward line, and Allan Kieran in particular. That was a good passage of play, and again we're looking for another football here, so we are. I see 2 footballs coming on the express here on my left hand side. Magheracloone delivering one of them in, and he's going to kick the second one across then to be acting as a spare. The umpire, or the linesman umpire, let's go out. No, Cian's going to return it to him, and that's exactly what he's done. So on the kick and tee again, the umbrellas still remain up. Yeah, there's a fine light mist drizzle that's falling here at the moment with us, so Shane Garland putting all behind that one, driving it out just through hands. Oh, Gavin Doogan again, he followed the flight of that one, never took his eye off it, takes it down and plays it back across in front then to the number 10, and that number 10 is Barry Kieran, but he knew the minute that one had left his foot that he had just got it wrong. Again, he'd taken it on the run. One of the more difficult skills of Gaelic football to try and execute is to kick, be accurate and at pace. Just didn't work for him. That's a good kick out from Shane Garland, the mark taken there in the middle of the field by Darren McElroy. I think it was Darren McElroy is on the ball at the moment. It was the other number 8 inside there, Niall Keenan, that took that ball down, and ball inside here once more, and it's dropping down and into the hands there of a grateful Cormac O'Connor. So it is, he goes to ground. Michael Jones momentarily had to come in and turn his attention to that one. 3 minutes of additional time, you can hear it there on the PA. An opportunity to draw it back to a 2-point here again. Davy Garland with that opportunity on the 13 metre line. A crowd getting up and making use of the opportunity maybe to get to the tee stand before the crowd. We're inside those 3 minutes as of now, so we are, as Davy Garland reduces it back to 2. 1-6 to 1-8. Davy Garland with the latest offering there for Donaghmoyne, and that exactly on the 30th minute. As we look out, David Kirk has got his kick out over to that far side, so he has adjusted his kick out ever so slightly as well, because Magheracloone weren't winning their initial restart, so they weren't, but they've went short. Man has become available, and now they're carrying, and Gavin Doogan is one of those that is carrying. Lovely little ball laid off. That's Tommy Freeman that he give it off to there. Tommy just momentarily lost his feet, but is back up again. He used the support play of Killian Rudden there. Is back out once more then to Allan Kieran, and Allan Kieran from a long way out, and they're going to watch that one. It's going to drop out to the wrong side, the post and wide. A fourth wide for Magheracloone, 4 wides for Donaghmoyne. 2 points between them, 1-8 to 1-6, and we're looking at the first of the 3 minutes being indicated here, being played. As the rain, I think, is beginning to ease off there. Umbrella's still remaining up over on the terrace end. Shane Garland back out again. That ball will skate off the surface, well taken in fairness by Frank Markey there. He had to stretch himself out to pull that one in. He plays a ball up in front, and James Ward or Pete Ward got a hand of that one, and and Andrew Mullen. Well, Davy Garland was back up on his feet. It was Cormac O'Connor, and this played in front then to Paudie Donnelly. So it is, if he looks across, it's opening up here for Darren McElroy. And he just didn't take it at the first time of asking, but cuts back inside. It's to the wrong side of post and wide, and maybe could have took the effort the first time. Good ball played to him by Paudie Donnelly. Good kick out, David Kirk once more. It's through the hands and taken at the second time of asking by Paudie McMahon. He'd run a long way to put his name on that one, so he did, and now he's been chased and harried by Ronan McDonald, so he is. Still managed to get the pass inside to the number 13, that is Allan McCahey there. Allan McCahey, no bounce on the ball down in that corner, obviously. Back out then to Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan from a long way out. Wonderful score from Gavin Doogan to curl that one in. Great score from him. Backed himself from the minute he got that ball that he was only going to do one thing. Does that in and over the bar. 32 minutes gone in this first half with us here. It's back out to a 3-point game. 1-9 and 1-6. Cian Garland operating out around midfield there momentarily. Had a little bit of a give and a go, and Stephen Finnegan now trying to break through. Good hand coming in to dispossess him, and Killian Rudden coming in and cleaning up, and it's out then to the number 12, Paudie McMahon, and he puts the ball up in here. It's going to skate off the surface, and Tommy Freeman maybe in his heyday could have been on the end of that one, but not quite on this occasion. Shane Garland takes a return ball back from Stephen Martin on the sideline ball here as we have about 10 seconds remaining, and Donaghmoyne, he looked like he was going to put it across the line there, and then he realised Michael Metzger was holding there, so Shane Garland still continuing on, and Magheracloone are happy to do that. And he's giving it away inside to Jamie Kieran, and now Shane Garland has a lot of ground to cover to get back onto his goal line, but Magheracloone maybe just won't capitalise with it. Michael Metzger can put it across. Tommy Freeman was looking for it, calling for it, and the play goes down, and it's going to be a free out. Well, Donaghmoyne put themselves in all sorts of bother and all sorts of trouble there, so they did, as the half-time whistle goes here. Magheracloone were happy to let Shane Garland carry, and he carried so far, and then give the ball away rather cheaply maybe, and very nearly was punished then at the opposite end for it. Exciting game. Magheracloone with that goal opportunity inside the opening 30 seconds with us here resulted in a free for Allan McCahey. He put it over, but then those 4 unanswered points from Donaghmoyne, from Ronan McDonald, Stephen Finnegan, Ronan McDonald with a second, and Davy Garland by the 8th minute had it 4 points to 1. Allan McCahey with a point from play in the 9th minute, and then that goal from Paudie McMahon, and what a wonder goal it was as well. Sheer power of it, lifting it up through the net and out the back. It took a second or so before we realised the green flag was going up for it. Davy Garland with a wonderful individual score in the 12th minute, level matters up, and then those 3 unanswered points, James Ward, Allan McCahey and Paudie McMahon again put 3 between them. Davy Garland then with a goal at the opposite end after great work from Paudie Donnelly to get back into Davy, who had started the move. It levelled matters up, would you believe, with us here for a 3rd time in that half. But 3 unanswered points again from Magheracloone, from Allan McCahey, and 2 from Allan Kieran as he broke through the middle left at 1-8 to 1-5. An exchange of points from Davy Garland and Gavin Doogan there as we came towards half time. Leaves 3 between them. 1-9 Magheracloone, 1-6 Donaghmoyne as we go in at the break. So the 2 teams back out with us here again. I don't think there's any changes on either side. I could see Jim O'Rourke, the official there down below us, was just checking with the management teams as they come out, and there was a shake of the head from the Magheracloone management, and I think it's possibly similar for Donaghmoyne as well. Just looking around the field here, as you were for the start of the second half, 1-6 to 1-9. Interesting as always to chat and talk to supporters from both sides there at the break, just where they're see the game being won or swung or changed, and I suppose it's the better movement of Magheracloone, particularly in that first half, and the support play that has them edging in front by those 3 points. And maybe over-reliance on Donaghmoyne, they do obviously, and why wouldn't you be trying to get the ball into Davy Garland at every opportunity? But Magheracloone have possibly closed that out, and we talked about the space that was available as well as Andrew Mullen gets the action underway, and Donaghmoyne probably not reacting as quick to Magheracloone, closing down the space when players come through the middle. It'll be interesting to see now, will that change at the start of this second half? It's still Magheracloone possession of the ball from the throw in there, with Barry Kieran crossing over the 65, and now he pops a little ball up inside looking for Allan. McKahey comes out, reads it perfectly, solo taking it out of there as well, just to buy himself a yard. He puts that one in off the crossbar. Cian Garland had to momentarily backtrack just to get onto that one. Tommy Freeman's going to come out on it. Well, I talk Paudie maybe quiet in the first half. Tommy Freeman's never quiet, for the simple reason being he's always an attacking threat inside there, and he opens up space for other team members to be able to exploit. One of those who was trying to do that was Paudie McMahon. Back out with James Ward here. James Ward down onto the left boot, and he puts that one across, and Michael Metzger tried to get a hand to that one, and he just couldn't do enough to bring it back down again, and that'll register as a first wide of the second half. 4 wides in the first half for Magheracloone. Cian Garland down to my right hand side. Another breath of a breeze, just looking at the flags. Maybe they're that wet that they can't lift themselves, but definitely can't feel the breeze either from the back of the stand that we find ourselves in here. And that ball broken down, and Michael Marron gets his hand to it, and here he goes again. Davy Garland right out into the corner here. Lovely little pick up from him, so it was. He sells a little dummy out to his left back on his right. Darren McElroy came across and gave him an option. That's touched on the ground. I could see that from here. Oh, he got away with it. And James Ward from Magheracloone then comes in and tidies that one up. Michael Jones with ball in hand, he kicks it across to Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan looking up ahead of him, what's available, goes for the player that's directly in front, Barry Kieran. Barry Kieran on the 45, and there's a runner coming through, and Killian Rudden there laid it off, and it's into the hands then of Allan Kieran. Allan Kieran then up into Killian Rudden. Killian Rudden putting the ball up inside, and Michael Metzger just overrun it to himself, that it just didn't go to where he expected it to go. Was that a push in on the back? No, referee happy enough to let that one go on as well. A little look across from Cormac O'Connor as much as to say, was that not a push on the back? No, that was the answer to that one, and that's Cormac O'Connor coming across, and the back up again, and they're still continuing on. Paudie McMahon, second goal opportunity, back of the net. Well, I think Paudie McMahon went to ground, thought he was fouled. There was no whistle from Andrew McMullen. Possibly an advantage was being played. He got himself back up on his feet, and he didn't have to ask him for a second time. Did he want to take an opportunity to shoot a goal? He took it and puts it low and hard to the back of the net. 2-9 to 1-6, and all of a sudden there's a sizable gap has opened up between these two sides as Fergal Keenan back over here front end to Cian Garland. Cian Garland sells a little dummy. There's confidence for you, and then uses the support play coming here, and it's into the hands then of Frank Markey. Frank Markey turning away from Conor McKeown. Still Frank Markey. Ball being played up in front here. Oh, nice hand come across on that one with Cormac O'Connor. Probably felt he was hard done by a little earlier on. Didn't get himself a free in the build up to that Magheracloone goal. He come in then and looked like he had fouled then Paudie McMahon, but again the referee's whistle hadn't went, so 2 players down inside in the square, but they're back up on their feet again, and it's still with Donaghmoyne with Michael Marron out down to Paudie Donaghy. Paudie Donaghy stepping inside as he is the leg heavily strapped. He was getting attention to his thigh in that first half. It seems to be strapped up in the second half, but it hasn't stopped him as he puts that one in and over the bar. 1-7 to 2-9. Paudie Donaghy with the latest offering for Donaghmoyne. That ball goes out, and the mark taken by Gavin Doogan out in the middle. 10 points versus 15. 5-point game again, and Magheracloone with Michael Metzger, he played that one on under pressure, and Mikey Monaghan happy to come in and get his hand to that one. He plays it up in front then to Cormac O'Connor once more. He's been chaperoned the whole way over there by Peter Ward, but he still manages to step inside him, and he comes back out again. He uses the support play then. Oh, great block. Peter Ward never gave up on his duties inside there, so he didn't. James Ward takes that one, plays it out in front. Michael Metzger has come very deep out from his full forward line. He plays it over in front to Paudie. McMahon has been a real thorn on the side of the Donaghmoyne defence, so he has, and there he is going again across the 45, stepping inside from the attentions of Stephen Martin. So he did still continue on Paudie McMahon. He's only one thing on his mind, in fairness, when he gets into them positions. He plays it over in front then to Allan McCahey, and Allan McCahey with a nice little finish for himself there. 2-10, back out to 6-point game again. Allan McCahey with the latest score from Magheracloone as we've 5 minutes gone, and Mark there again in the middle of the field, and Davy Garland has gotten away, and well, it's been one of those battles inside between himself and Paul McArdle, so it has, and Paul McArdle won out on that occasion. It's with Alan Kieran. Alan Kieran popping the ball up in front to Allan McCahey, and this is the difference in Magheracloone, is that support play with coming with Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan with a point in the first half. Gavin Doogan, oh, it's out to the wrong side of the post and wide. I thought he had done enough to put that one in and over the bar, but that's the difference. That's the difference in the two sides there. It's the support play that comes for the player that's in possession of the ball. Donaghmoyne go to ground, get that one up with their full back there, Killian Coleman. He plays it back to Stephen Martin. Stephen Martin over into the front then to Ronan McDonald. Ronan McDonald solo out of the ball and uses the support play. Stephen Finnegan coming through there. Hand went in on him, dispossessed him, but it was illegally done. Mikey Marron had took the ball, and now he pops it up in front here, and that goes through the hands of Paul McArdle. Their players unfortunately just finding it hard to have their and keep their feet on the ground here, but James Ward coming, carrying out still. James Ward still carrying. He pops the ball over in front here to Jamie Kieran. Jamie's going to have to get it up at the second time of asking. Mikey Marron coming in, putting a challenge on him, and he sidesteps the two of them, so he does. Just used his physicality to get away from them. Conor McKeown again breaking inside, so he is. Conor McKeown on the ball, bobbling about. Cian Garland coming out, though. They've mixed it up among themselves. Was that picked up off the ground? It was indeed picked up off the ground inside there, so this will be a free kick. Must have been just outside the area as well. It was indeed, so an opportunity for Allan McCahey to pop this one in and over the bar. And he's just been signalled as to where it's been taken from, in line with where the indiscretion was. So Allan McCahey then with an opportunity to put another one between them. All of a sudden it's out to 7 points, with 3 being between them at the break. Level 3 times in the first half. So it's Cian Garland now. Long kick out again into the middle. The hand on the shout goes up, breaks down, and again Magheracloone now winning the breaking balls as well. So they are. Gavin Doogan pops that one inside. Michael Metzger waiting for it to drop down into his hands, and Killian Coleman had a thought about that and says no, that's not going to happen. He put a hand to it, puts it out over the sideline, and he leaves it then to Allan McCahey. Does Michael Metzger right down in here along the stand side with us between the 20 and the 13. He's coming across. Right across sort of ball. No defence wants to have to deal with. Tommy Freeman's going to go across and get his hand to that one, so he is. Done very well. Back out once more then in front to Alan Kieran. Alan Kieran has Gavin Doogan coming screaming, looking for it through the middle, and he lays it off, and if he looks across then he has Michael Metzger if he needs him, and he does use Michael Metzger. Michael Metzger come across, and that'll be a nice snow out to the wrong side of the post and wide. There's an advantage being played. There was a good advantage indeed being played, so an opportunity for Magheracloone here, so an opportunity to get another one on the board for themselves. Allan McCahey will be called into duty on this one, I would have thought. He will indeed. Just a little bit of a lull in the game maybe at the moment, but Magheracloone will not be worried about that. They're well in control of the scoreboard, 2-11 to 1-7. That's 17 points versus 10. That second goal from Paudie McMahon, putting the daylight between the sides, and Allan McCahey needs no invitation to extend that, and he's done that. Right to 18 here with Allan McCahey. And we go again here with Cian Garland. Cian Garland with the effort out there, and that ball just skins along the ground, so it does, and it come back up the head again. He was under all sorts of pressure there, and it drops into the hands of Jamie Kieran. Jamie Kieran has Pete Ward back across in front then to Michael Jones, and Michael Jones can go right along the line there, so he can. That's exactly what he does to Paudie McMahon. Paudie McMahon has been absolutely everywhere. Well, he's definitely working himself into a man of the match role here at the moment, so he's been out working, giving support where it's needed out round the middle, and then he's been on the end of a couple of nice moves, obviously with the 2 goals to his name as well. And Magheracloone just changed the direction that one back to this near side with us again with Jamie Kieran. Pops a ball inside once more, and again it just goes through the hands simply because they couldn't get hand to it owing to the conditions with Allan Kieran. And Allan Kieran again in and over the bar, and I'm just wondering, Donaghmoyne are going to be forced into changes here. As I say, this is suddenly a game that's getting away from them. So number 20, so 27 in for 12. So 27 is Darren Coleman. He has come in. And it's Donaghmoyne then that'll look to try and get something. The game has really gotten away from them in the last few minutes. Down in front to Davy Garland. Himself and Paul McArdle have had a cracking battle inside there, but Davy Garland still continuing all and still holding. This is the difference. No support for him. That's the difference. They're expecting Davy to do so much for himself, and there was no support. Whereas when it goes the other way, Magheracloone will have support for the ball carrier at all times. But Barry Kieran and torn back inside once more and through the hands there. That's Tommy Freeman that was coming out from deep. Over then near side to Allan here again at Allan Kieran. Michael Metzger made a run from down here below us, but he opts instead to go back into the centre once more to Paudie McMahon, and now Paudie McMahon plays the ball right over up into the corner there, and Allan McCahey coming out, takes that one down onto the right boot, turns, one look at the post, nod of the head from the umpires will tell you that's a good one, and all of a sudden it's out to double scores as Allan McCahey adds another one. Paudie McMahon will be put under pressure for the position of man of the match, I can tell you, with Allan McCahey now putting that pressure on him. Darren Coleman, the number 27 that came in there, popping a long ball inside, and Pete Ward, or James that is, in fact, to come out, tried to read where that one was going, but Donaghmoyne retained possession of it, back with the Fergal Keenan then out to Paudie Donaghy. Paudie Donaghy again, he's looking what's available for me, puts a ball across there. Ronan McDonald doing very well to take that one down, but look who's down, challenging him, putting him under pressure. Paudie McMahon, as I say, is doing all the work at one side, then back, not forgetting to carry out defensive duties when they're required as well. 2:14 to 1-7. We're looking at the clock, we can tell you we're 12 and a half minutes here into this second half, so we are. As an opportunity now for Magheracloone, or Donaghmoyne I should be saying, to get something back for themselves. They've only got 1 point to show for all their efforts in this second half, with Davy Garland catching that one. The umpires look at each other. Well, they can't but say that Davy Garland is doing his best for them, and he's done that. 12 minutes it has taken for them to get that score, but it was a purple patch in fairness for Magheracloone that has really given them control of this one. There's 5 unanswered points in this second half. Gavin Doogan coming out strong hand, Darren Coleman, but he still, Gavin Doogan had the presence of mind to keep an eye where the ball was going, took it back and plays it over in front then to Allan Kieran. Allan Kieran dropping it down in front of Killian Rudden. I think that was coming and giving him an option. Back out then to Allan McCahey. Allan McCahey off the outside of the right boot. Lovely ball. What a ball to play down in front then of Tommy Freeman. Tommy Freeman would certainly do anything to get his name on the scoreboard. Switches onto the left, and Tommy Freeman does nonchalantly as you like in and over the bar to open it out to a 10-point game again, and Thomas will be happy with that one, I can tell you. But it was a beautiful placed ball. The angle of it here was perfect from what we could see. As I say, any forward, they always love that, the ball just coming in front of them, run out onto it. And when you have a player of the calibre of Thomas Freeman and what he's given to the cause both for club and county, well, he'll gobble that up all day, and that's exactly what he done. As Donaghmoyne come carrying again here, strong challenge going in, but retained possession to Stephen Finnegan. Darren Coleman popping it up in front. I think they've made a change. Donaghmoyne, they've popped there. They have Stephen, or Darren McElroy has gone inside to them there, and that come out to Davy Garland, and Davy Garland, I say, is carrying the fight. He's certainly doing his best for the side. Yes. he puts another one in and over the bar on the 14th minute of this second half. Another change, 17 for 5. James McCahey going off, and 17 coming in is Kieran Martin. So Kieran Martin coming in for James McCahey, and number 26 coming in is Bernard Kelly. And Bernard Kelly's coming in for Ronan McDonald, it looks like. It is indeed, yeah. So the 26, Bernard Kelly, another man that has given his all to the club cause. If memory serves me well, I think he picked up possibly a man of the match award for himself in 2016. If he didn't, he certainly wasn't far off it. But he's out there at the moment, still involved here. Michael Jones takes the breakdown from Magheracloone, and here we go again. That support play, that runner, that space has all but opened up again for Conor McKeown, so it has. He turns inside, plays across in front of Allan McCahey. Allan McCahey has had the shooting boots on all afternoon, so Donaghmoyne immediately close him down. It's back out then with Tommy Freeman. Tommy Freeman back to Paudie McMahon. Paudie McMahon solo out of the ball, just had to get away from the attentions even of the referee there, but the ball's still in possession of Magheracloone. Alan Kieran back over here in front end of Michael Metzger. Back out to Allan McCahey, and Allan McCahey pops it in and over the bar. That is controlled football from Magheracloone. They kept working it, they kept holding it, they kept playing it till they knew they could get it into a scoring position, and Allan McCahey ensured that. And we're halfway through this second half, and already there's an inevitability about this one. 2-16 to 1-9, that's a 10-point lead, and Mikey Murnahan under trouble there from the kick out, but Donaghmoyne are going to need goals, and they're going to need them fairly sharpish. I would have thought, Cian Garland was going to give, and then realised, and he puts it behind the head there as well. Soccer style, they're going to try and work it out. It's not a day for the fancy lift. I spoke about that before. Kieran Martin tried it. Stephen Martin come in and decided, right, I'm going to have to give you a hand here, and he done that, and Stephen Martin has run himself out, and then he kicks the ball away, so it'll come back here for a sideline ball for Donaghmoyne, or for Magheracloone. Magheracloone, of course, and they're black and white. Donaghmoyne and the red and white. Paudie McMahon directly below us here for the kick out, or for the sideline ball. Catches that one and plays it up in front, and again Jamie Kieran will run onto that one. Oh, not an easy day. Tommy Freeman coming across, he gets it up, doesn't have to be asked twice for that one. Down in front to Barry Kieran here once more, and little pop pass, tried to play it in. Shane Garland read exactly where that one was going and come out and put his name to it. Now he's happy to carry out. Oh, and Michael Metzger, did he catch him there? I'm not too sure if he fully caught him. He was caught out by Shane Garland just changing the direction of his run, and the referee is going to speak to Saviour Kyle here just to see is there any further action required. I think it was a case just that he changed his direction on his run of direction that quickly, that he caught out Michael as he tried to put his hand in to strip him off possession. So I would envisage it'll be a yellow card here. That's exactly what it is going to be, as Andrew McMullen takes the details there. It is a yellow card for Michael Metzger, and he'll take his position back up again in the full forward line. And as I say, I think it was just the quick change of feet, the dancing feet of Shane Garland that caught him out there. So it was that he had his hand already committed to try to strip possession. Magheracloone building again with Fergal Keenan across in here to the fullback coming out. That's Killian Coleman. Son now comes out to greet us here. Long ball going in. David Kirk called that one from a long way out. Now he's caught us. He tried to come out there as well under Darren McElroy. Well, I think it was just a case of the height difference there. I mean, Darren McElroy and David Kirk. Taking a look back here, in fairness, Darren McElroy's an imposing figure inside there, so he is, and again I think that's just what led to that, and Darren is going to be spoken to. It's going to be a yellow card from Andrew McMullen, this indeed, to him. Take a look here. I'd been looking at the pen pictures a little earlier on just in regards to Darren McElroy is 6'2", and I can tell you that David Kirk is 5'9", so there was a swing of a good 5 to 6 inches there, and naturally enough, if you go in with your hand as the bigger player against the smaller player, it'll always look like you're catching the smaller player that bit higher up. David Kirk is fit to get back up on his feet. That's the important thing. Darren McElroy did pick up a yellow card for himself there as well, just, and I think he acknowledged straight away just that there was no malice in it. It was just the case of a hand trying to go in again to strip possession. Mickey Marron getting out on that one, pops it off in front then, and it looks like a long ball going in inside there. Oh, brilliantly taken down by Paudie. He done brilliant to take that one down, but he needs the support, and eventually he gets the support there from the number 26. David Kirk's going to come out. He puts fist to it, drops back down inside to the number 26 once more. At number 26, as I say, inside is Bernard Kelly, and ball is bundled out over the end line. It'll register as a wide. Magheracloone making a change. The number 10, Barry Cairn, and number 19 coming in as Liam O'Murray, a player that would have featured for them in senior football when they were there. I can recall his name being mentioned in senior championship games. So Liam O'Murray is in, and another change below us here as well. Number 24, Peter Lambe, is going to come in place of number 11, Darren McElroy. So I'm not sure if that was because of the yellow card. Now Darren McElroy had been put inside as a target man inside, but they've changed that, so Aaron Courtney is going in. Aaron Courtney in place of the number 11, Darren McElroy. Ball coming out, and Liam O'Murray trying to get his hand to that one. He done very well. He got a hand to it. He stopped it from going out over the end line, and I'm not so sure Saviour Kyle is below us here. He decides then it is going to be a Donaghmoyne ball. Bernard Kelly, ball in hand, directly below us here. Little pop pass inside to Stephen Martin. Stephen Martin putting it right across. Donaghmoyne are probably going to have to go looking for goals. That's exactly what I think they're trying to work for themselves. But that's been won, and Magheracloone now have an opportunity to come out with it, and that's what they're doing with Jamie Kieran. And it just seems to be evidence working for them at the moment. Well, he's run himself into the trouble. Is he taking too many steps there? He's lost possession. More importantly, the ball is there to be won. Magheracloone have won it. Davy Garland, probably, or not Davy Garland, it is Davy Garland indeed, yeah, that's out around the middle there now. Probably trying to get out and get a little bit more on the ball for himself as they win again. Another free, this time with their number 10, Stephen Finnegan. And now they throw it back to Davy Garland, just inside the 45. We're going to have another change from Magheracloone directly below us here as well. Number 18, Ryan Farrelly, is going to be introduced. Davy Garland will have an opportunity, I'd imagine, to take this effort first. Pop it in and put it over, and that's exactly what he's done, Davy Garland. 13 points, back to a 9-point game again as we're 22 minutes gone here. 18 for Michael Metzger, so Ryan Farrelly has gone in as Davy Garland put over that latest effort for Donaghmoyne. Short kick out to Killian Rudden here, and he goes the whole way back to his keeper. And we have about 8 minutes remaining, plus whatever injury is to be added on. So it's interesting, the 2 yellow cards being picked up. Darren McElroy has been changed out for Aaron Courtney, and Michael Metzger, who picked up a yellow card from himself, he's also now been changed out in place of the number 18, and that was Ryan Farrelly that went in there. And Magheracloone put themselves under unwanted pressure, and the ball could be turned over here. The referee judges there was a tug on the jersey inside there, and Magheracloone with Liam O'Murray, strong hand coming in on him as well, and that's gone out, sideline ball for Liam O'Murray of Magheracloone. Below us here, tempo of the game has dipped again. There's a lull in it. 13 points to 22, 9-point game in favour of Magheracloone, so there'll be a wee bit more energy maybe in their legs for the last 6-7 minutes with us here, you would have thought. Magheracloone in bad need of goals, and they don't seem to be threatening to do that. There's going to be another change below us here as well. The number 17 from Magheracloone coming in is Niall Marron. Niall Marron is going in for the number 8, Jamie Kieran. So both management teams now emptying their bench. For Magheracloone, you'd find it's possibly maybe just giving players an opportunity and a chance. For Donaghmoyne, it's just trying to think, can they come up with something different or something else for themselves. Liam O'Murray with the ball directly below us here. Pops that one in front. The hand of Tommy Freeman goes out and takes it in. He lays it over in front to Paudie McMahon. Back in front then to the number 17. Back once more to Paudie McMahon. He's on a hat trick for himself. Oh, wonderful save from Cian Garland. Brilliant save. Tommy Freeman with the fist across as well. And Cian Garland is back up on his feet and gets hands that one. Brilliant save from him, so it was. Paudie McMahon had only one thing in his mind. You couldn't blame him. He was going for his hat trick. Stephen Finnegan's coming carrying out with it there, and he runs on. Now he'll be told to go back a yard or two. No, Andrew McMullen's going to be happy enough to let him take it from where he took it. The front across then to Frank Markey. Frank Markey over in front then to one of the number of changes that was made. That number 24 is Aaron Courtney. Back over to another one of the changes come in, Darren Coleman. Darren Coleman, he'll be looking to see where Donaghmoyne, Paudie is, or Davy is. Well, there's Davy coming now, but Paul McArdle read where his intention was for that one to go with his toe poked out, and it's Paudie McMahon, and look where he looks over. He sees Allan McCahey giving him an option over on that far side, so he takes that option with Allan McCahey, and Allan's carrying and being shadowed and still carrying on the 20-metre line, back onto the right boot, puts it in. Shane Garland got a hand of that one, broke it down in front of himself, and Killian Coleman come to his aid, and now Donaghmoyne will try to carry it and take it out to this near sideline, and it's going to be a race for possession. Bernard Coleman, that's gone for a sideline ball. It was Killian Rudden that put his foot to that one, and another change. The number 19 coming in is Conor Finnegan for number 2, Fergal Keenan. So Conor Finnegan, yeah, coming in number 2. And looking down here, there's more finger wagging going on from management up to the bench behind us here, so you just know there's more changes afoot as Bernard Kelly puts that one in. It drops in behind, and James Ward read where it was going. Gavin Doogan's given him the option, and Gavin Doogan is going to carry Tommy Freeman directly in front of him here. Tommy laying it off. What a lovely little pass down in front there to the number 11, Alan Kieran, and he plays it up in front, but the fresh legs of the number 19 there, Conor Finnegan, gets him ahead of Paudie McMahon to win that one, and it's a foul and a push on us back, and Donaghmoyne win the free from themselves. 26 minutes gone the second half with us here as Frank Markey carries it out just over in front then to Stephen Finnegan carrying and continuing to carry, so he is as the retreat goes in from Magheracloone, but they'll be happy just let them carry it into that space. It's with Davy Garland, Gary Owen style leg ball is going up. Who wants to put hand to it? But Pete Ward come out and put a hand to it to Liam O'Murray, and he dropped it down in front then to the number 17, Niall Marron, and the ball comes out here in front once more. Paudie McMahon is fouled. We could see it directly below us here, a little pull back on him. And I think that was owing to the fact Conor Finnegan knew the danger that he was, as 28 comes in for 8. So Niall Keenan making his way off, and Thomas Finnegan now being introduced. So 28 for 8. So both same management teams making good use now of their benches, giving them an opportunity. Magheracloone to add to their intermediate success of 1992. Of course, they've gained and won a senior title in that time, contested a number of senior championship finals as well. We're unfortunate on them as Conor McKeown comes off, and a warm round of applause for Conor McKeown, I can tell you, for the simple reason being, particularly in that first half, he got on a lot of breaking ball in around the middle, played it down and was part of it as Liam O'Murray comes and takes the delivery of it there from Thomas and plays it over in front, and Jack Doogan keen to get in on the action, coming in on the end of the day. He takes one look at the posts, and the nod of the head will tell you it's been a smart introduction. And Jack Doogan gets his name on the board. 217 to 110, back out to it. 10-point game. The whistle there to shout or to signal that was a mark that was taken. Donaghmoyne player goes to ground, and again the support comes in from the ball, popped away from him. Allan McCahey was in there putting the pressure on, but Donaghmoyne win themselves the free. We're taking a look. It was Darren Coleman that takes it there. He pops it across in front then to Stephen Finnegan, and Stephen Finnegan putting the ball right up into the corner. He's looking inside there for Aaron Courtney. Aaron Courtney being pushed the whole way out to Michael Jones. Michael Jones doing very well to pop that one back up again. He plays it in front then to Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan carrying it out as we go 28 and a half minutes of this second half. Paddy O'Rourke Cup is going to be residing in Magheracloone for the next 12 months, and what a lift it'll be for everybody involved with the club there. Been well documented, the troubles that they've had with their club grounds and facilities that are there, so credit to credit it's due to all involved with the club and the community up there that they have silverware to wrap up what has been a dramatic 12 months for them. An Ulster Championship campaign to look forward to as well as they continue on. Magheracloone here, Liam O'Murray doing very well. He got a toe poke into that one. Shane Garland happy enough, bend the back, take it up and play out with this one. He plays it over in front. Solo took out of the ball there. Number of changes on the Donaghmoyne team. That's Stephen Finnegan there with the ball and takes a yard or two extra for himself. Well, he'll take anything they can at this stage. It's a long, long way back. No matter 5 minutes. 5 minutes to be played here. I don't see a 10-point turnaround in 5 minutes. With Paudie Donaghy running into the challenge there. He has to come back out again once more. And pops it inside and high hands going up, but again a strong hand coming in to break that one away. It's out with one of the many substitutions that's been made. So with Mikey Marron across then in front then to the number 24. The number 24 was Aaron Courtney. He tried to put it across and I think James Ward just caught us to try to get a hand to that one, but it went out for a 65 or 45. 65 is of course in hurling, 45 is in Gaelic football, and Davy Garland will stand over this one and really try to add to the points he's already got. My reckoning he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to his name. He's going short. They're going to have to work something here, naturally enough. Takes it back and then he opts instead to go for one. Well, I tell you what, Davy Garland has really carried it to the Magheracloone here today. It's just maybe a wee bit too much on his shoulders in regards to the support and what they could get off others, but he is kicked from all angles, all distances, under all sorts of pressure. 111 to 217 as we enter into the first of the 5 minutes. It's been highlighted to us here. The crowd beginning to make their way to the exits. Magheracloone will not be making their way to the exit anytime soon. They'll enjoy this one. Donaghmoyne breaking through the middle here once more. It's out with Paudie Donaghy. Paudie Donaghy's going to carry, pops it inside there, coming back out again. Oh, and it just goes past the hand, but they still have time with Darren Coleman to play it off inside. That's exactly what done with Stephen Finnegan to Stephen Martin. Oh, and a strong challenge from James Ward in on him there, on Stephen Martin, and there'll be a little bit of action, I think, to be taken here. Well, I know James is signalling that he went with the shoulder, but it was a frontal charge with the shoulder, and Andrew McMullen will go in here and have a word. He's taking him like a scolded child indeed by the hand out to the side just to have a word with him there. And Stephen Martin still down. He's gone in just to have a word with his umpire as well to get clarification as to what he thought may have occurred there. Again, I suppose James would argue, and right to argue, that he was going shoulder to shoulder, but he definitely just caught the pace of Stephen Martin as he was coming in there. So there's quite a confrontation going on there between the umpires and the referee, and now James Ward has been called over. The book is out, the writing is going on. Stephen Martin thankfully is back up, sitting up, and we'll see what action will be taken here. Now, it's not this game that'll factor in, but if it's a red card, it's a yellow card, so it's the knock-on effect of the next round of the competition that a red card could have had an issue with there. Stephen Martin is back up again. We're just a little winded from it, more so than anything else, and that is eaten into the time. We're 32.5 minutes gone, so 2.5 gone of the time. There's been a lot played here. Bernard Kelly's gone over and having a word, I think, with Davy Garland. Should we try to work something here? Well, it's going to be a case of no goals, and Davy did put power between it and behind it, but it wasn't ever going to be enough to get through the rear guard that Magheracloone were putting up for themselves. They obviously, as a policy, of not letting any more goals in. 32.5 minutes gone here, and David Kirk again will get the action underway. 217 to 112, high scoring game. 112 could win you many's a championship final. It's when you concede 217 that you're going to be in difficulty, as Gavin Doogan takes that mark down, plays it over in front of James Ward, Michael Jones. Between the two of them, they very nearly left it there. They took possession of it, the ball being played up into the corner there, and it's going to be a race for the number 4, Stephen Cunningham, and he's met by a strong challenge from Tommy Freeman that forces him out over the sideline, and it's a sideline ball, shoulder to shoulder. Well, that challenge went in. You think Magheracloone were looking to go and get a winning score for themselves, so Tommy Freeman, he obviously still has a good competitive nature in him. Down in front then to Allan Kieran, to Gavin Doogan. And Gavin Doogan over in front then to the number 4. That number 4 is Paul McArdle. Paul McArdle back again to Gavin Doogan. Gavin Doogan caught that one under all sorts of pressure, but puts it down. Oh, what a take inside by number 18. That number 18 is Ryan Farrelly. He puts a ball across. Cian Garland doing very well to get a hand out to break that one away and popping it out. And Donaghmoyne will go in one last foray, one last attack with Stephen Cunningham. So they will. I see the Magheracloone subs below me here making their way down onto the edge of the field to be part of the celebrations. The ball's turned over with Niall Marron over on that far side with 30 seconds of the 5 minutes that was signalled here to be played, and that ball's going to go the whole way inside. Paudie McMahon, I still think he has hat-trick on his mind, so he has. 2:17 to 1:12 with Cian Garland now carrying for Donaghmoyne, and still carrying, could do nothing. The two efforts that went in past him, it must be said. Ball played long up in front then of Frank Markey, and Frank Markey trying to step inside the challenges. Tommy Freeman, well, he was up challenging at one end of the field, and now he's down still trying to get involved with the action at the opposite end of the field. Donaghmoyne out on their own 45 here. It's going to come across the middle. It is indeed. And there was a shout in behind here. I could hear it from here to leave it. That shout was from Aaron Courtney, so it was left. Back out then to Stephen Cunningham. Back with Stephen Martin. Back once more to Paudie Donaghy. He steps inside. The challenge is there and he wins himself the free. No, it is a free, yeah, David Garland. I thought he was signalling maybe he was going to go for another carry. David Garland popping one in, high hand going up, it drops down, it's been pulled on. Nobody taking charge of it. It's out to Killian Rudden. I'd imagine the full-time whistle's going to go. It is going to go, and Magheracloone claim the Intermediate Championship title for 2019, the Paddy O'Rourke Cup. It's a piece of silverware to wrap up what has been, as I said, a dramatic 12 months for the club. But more importantly, and I know Magheracloone haven't spoken to their supporters on the run into this one, and indeed to the management team as well at the start of the week, it was more important to step up to where they, and believe, rightly belong, senior football for 2020. It's finished here. Magheracloone 2:17, Donaghmoyne 1:12.
Gonna monkey on the back. Well done. Well done. Cheers. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Congratulations. Well done. Thanks, Phil. Come on, Jeff. Young Joel. Joey. Well done. Well done. Life in your voice. Well done. 40 years later. Well done, lads. Well done, Scott. Here, come on, good kiss, man. We've done so far. It's been business. Yeah, I'll fight here. Moggy. Good night, Jack. Moggy, Jack. Jack, Moggy. Thanks very much. Cheers.
A conjugale, Augustine Ushla Galair. We're all very welcome to Grattan Party Inniskeen today, no better place than to play the intermediate final for the Paddy O'Rourke Trophy in the home of the great man Paddy O'Rourke himself. So firstly, to get a few things out of the way, I want to thank the Inniskeen Club for the excellent condition they had the facilities in here today. No different than any time we come here with a match. Everything's top notch, spick and span, plenty of stewards, plenty of help from the Inniskeen Club. Thanks to the Inniskeen chairman and to all his workers within the club. Another person that I need to welcome here today is our sponsors, McIlvanny Waste and Recycling. And I welcome Kieran McIlvanny and Emmett McIlvanny from McIlvanny Waste and Recycling. They were long sponsors of the competition here in Marron, and we're indebted to them for their sponsorship, and hopefully it will continue for years to come. Firstly, before we go into the presentation, I'm going to ask the County Secretary to announce today's man of the match for the Intermediate Championship. So I hand over to Francis Ward here now to do the presentation of the man of the match.
Hi, Charlie! Charlie!
Again, in a very comprehensive team performance, our delegation team singled out number 13, Allan McKeown, as the man of the match.
Right, we'll continue on with proceedings now. A few more people that needs to be thanked. Andrew Mullen, the man in the middle today, and his officials, a fantastic job. Well done again, boys, as we keep preaching all the time, and we're all assessors from the sideline, each and every one of us. We need the referees. Sometimes we shout at them, we all shout at them, we're human beings, but we can't do without them. Well done to our referees, linesmen and officials. To the Donaghmoyne team, commiserate with the Donaghmoyne team today. A great club, a great bunch of fellas, and a great committee behind them. There's still something for you to play for, lads, later on in the year in the league. Hopefully, you can be successful in that and get back up senior where you want to be. Thanks very much to the Inniskeen Club. To the Magheracloone Club. It has been a difficult 18 months for the Magheracloone Club. Loads of issues off the field, as we all know about and everything, but Magheracloone, on top of the agenda, they put football. And they decided they were going to put themselves back into senior football where they feel they belong. And they proved it today, that senior football is where they belong. Congratulations to the Magheracloone Club on their victory here today. I'll now call on Peter Ward, the captain of the Magheracloone Club, a son of the man who I had the pleasure of playing on in the 77 intermediate final in Castleblaney, to accept the intermediate trophy from Kieran McIlvanny, representing McIlvanny Waste and Recycling. Just before I hand over the microphone to Peter here, I want to thank our CCC and Monaghan here for the great work they do all the year. Get plenty of criticism for decisions and everything, but they seem to get them all right. Thanks very much to the CCC and all our committees here in Monaghan, and our hard-working committee around the gates and tickets at all our matches. Thanks very much. and hopefully he'll keep doing it for years and years to come. I'm going to hand you over to Peter now. He has 4 pages here. He wants to get on it.
No, this will be short and sweet. Just a lot of thank yous I want to do. First, Inniskeen. As always, top notch. Even the rain this morning, field was in top condition. Stewart's Park and everything. It's, to me, the best facility in Monaghan. Is a credit to you. So it is. Next, I'd just like to thank the referee and the officials. It's never an easy job, so it is. You get a lot of criticism, sometimes from the players as well. So, no, he's done a top-notch job today, and just like to give us a round of applause as well. To Donaghmoyne, as always, a tough physical game whenever you play Donaghmoyne, and they'll have a lot to say in the league yet. There's 2 ways you can go back up senior, and I'm sure they'll have a big say in it before the year's out, so they will. So I just like to give 3 cheers to Donaghmoyne. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Now, just moving on to ourselves, I suppose to the Magheracloone committee, it's probably been one of the toughest years in the club's history, and we could easily have taken an eye off the ball and took an eye off the team and the players on the field, but this team wanted for nothing. Anything we asked for, Jess and them, the committee rode in behind. We built a new training facility as well, temporary training facility, and we're well on the road to recovery, boys, and we're back up seniors. That's a big credit to the committee, but a lot of work going on. Just on that too, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the local clubs who facilitated us with training facilities in Louth, Meath, Cavan, you name it. Anywhere we looked for, the door was always open, so greatly appreciated and will not be forgotten. So long. To our sponsors, our main sponsors, Tracy Hotel, who is great to have a hotel of that stature in behind us, and they're very generous with the sponsors, so just like to give a round of applause to Tracy's. To the other sponsors during the year that helped out, Willie Owens of Willow's Bar, who sponsors t-shirts, Noel McNally and Leo Mann, who sponsors jumpers as well, so thanks very much, it's greatly appreciated. To the backroom staff, boys, if I forget someone, I'm sorry here, but I think I've mostly just covered. To Jonny Smith and Damien Babington, massive work going on in keeping the balls, keeping the jerseys, keeping the kit. Everything is looked after. The management don't have to worry about it, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And I think on behalf of the players, I'd like to say a massive thank you to them, boys. So much. To Kevin Kelly, Stato, main man, so he is. But no, he brought a new level of professionalism to it, something for the players to feed into. And as the management and players, it was great feedback, game in, game out, of what was going on. To Roisin, our physio, top notch all year, and just a pleasure to work with as well, as all the players should say. Lorraine Smith for doing the food. Who has Joe Dillon. This all started with Joe Dillon back at the strength and conditioning in the early months of this year. And to Jody Clark, the trainer. Can't speak highly enough of this man. His training's been top notch. His positivity he brings to the camp is second to none. And on behalf of the players, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all those people. To the management, the 3 men, Jesse, Frankie and Paul. Everyone talks about the commitment the players put in. I think they put in twice as much commitment, boys. They're going watching games, they're analysing games, they're doing everything. And I don't think you'll find 3 more respected men in Magheracloone, and the players should say that themselves. And anything that they asked for, they got because of the respect we have of them. So it is. So a big thanks to you to them 3 men, boys. To the players, couldn't ask to be captain of a better bunch of lads. We had to travel the length and breadth of a few counties for training. Never, not one man ever complained. So it didn't, not one. Except Paul McArdle maybe sometimes, but other than that, he was alright. But no, it was an easy team to lead. There's plenty of leaders all over it. So on behalf of the management and myself, there's just a massive thank you to you. finishing up here now. To the families and the partners, I suppose we take for granted we can go out and do all the training and everything, but we're away 3-4 evenings a week, so we are, and it's a massive commitment. So massive thank you to the families and the partners, wives, girlfriends, everything. Thank you. And lastly but not least, to the supporters. We've got to a lot of finals and we come out with our head held low. So this is one of the good days, and it's great for us to give it back to you who's stayed with us through thick and thin, through relegation, and now we're back up senior. So massive thank you to you as well. Thank you.
You're soaking it all up there.
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose the first emotion is relief, Sean, you know. Yeah. We were fancied all year, people were talking about it, but you know yourself, there's many a slip between cup and mouth, as they say, you know. And until you actually go out and win it, you don't know what's going to happen, you know.
Indeed. In fairness, it was comfortable on the scoreboard at the end there, and probably midway through the second half as well. You probably could have that pressure come off the shoulders knowing the job was done.
Yeah, maybe you could, you know, but I suppose when you're so involved, it's hard to, you know. But at the same time, as you say, yeah, I thought we got off to a shaky start. You know, took us a while to settle. We looked a wee bit nervy, but once Paudie Mac stuck that ball in the net, like, you know, I think that settled. And we knew we were troubling them with our pace, I think, all through, like, you know. Yeah. So, as you say, yeah, we came out after half-time, tagged on a few scores. And the last 15 minutes, well, you could breathe a little bit easier, but you know, you never relax totally now when you're along the sideline.
Indeed not, and I know the big day of the day is the silverware, the Paudie O'Rourke, a championship final one, but even I got the feeling just afterwards as well was it's back to senior football.
Well, look we feel that that's where we belong, rightly or wrongly, like, you know, I mean, that's the way the club feel. And I think with the performance there today and the panel of players that we have, like, you know, that we should be able to hold our own in senior football. We need to be more consistent. As Pete said to you the other night, our league form for the last couple of years in senior, that was the problem, you know. But Magheracloone have always shown that they're a championship team. You know, they've competed in senior finals and senior semi-finals there for the last number of years. So I think with that pedigree, we should be in senior football.
Indeed. You should enjoy this one.
Absolutely. We've lost enough finals, Sean, so when you win them, you make the most of them and enjoy them. That's what it's all about, you know.
Indeed. Well, congratulations. Well done, James.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you.
Good man. Well done. Well done. Jody Clark was spoke highly of up on the presentation stand there, and any day you get a Cavan man to come in and help him on a team, Jody, we'll take it.
Yeah, well, Sean, my mother actually is from Latin, but it's a strange kind of feeling because, as you know, 3 years ago I was here with Donaghmoyne, so it's bittersweet in a way. But after Donaghmoyne lost the league final here last year, I probably had made up my mind that I wasn't going to be involved in football. And the following Tuesday night, James Kieran came knocking on my door. But I know James Kieran's a lifetime. I know his family a lifetime. And the respect I have for him, there was no way, I didn't say yes that night, but we got it done over the next couple of days. But the management team of James, Francie and Paul have been absolutely outstanding. They're Magheracloone through and through. Paul captained them to win their only senior championship. Of course, Francie played for Monaghan and Magheracloone. And the whole backroom team, Jonny Smith, our kit man, Kevin Kelly on stats, Roisin Finnegan and the Donaghmoyne lady as well, a physio. It's been a tremendous effort. But the one thing, Sean, that stands out to me is the way that the Magheracloone community, that was one of the decisions. I'm in business myself. I do a lot of business with Magheracloone people. But the way that they rallied last year, you know, I remember where I was when I seen the message about the thing collapsing. And the way that community have come together and pulled together to overcome all obstacles. They have a tremendous committee in Francie Jones, great chairman, Brian Busby, and Mary Cosgrove, the treasurer, and all the other people that work week in, week out. But the players that Magheracloone have, they deserve to be senior. The 6 Magheracloone forwards today would walk on any team. My big hope for Magheracloone now is that they celebrate it for a couple of days and they go on and they represent Monaghan. And they represent Monaghan the best way possible by going as far as we can in this. I don't know where it's going to end. I really don't. It's been a pleasure every night. Jim Gavin referenced in the lead up to All Ireland that every night he goes training, he has 30 players there. Every single night, Sean, without fail, this summer, wherever we were, when we used a lot of pitches, there was always 30 plus. So I'm blabbering on a bit, but I am so proud of this group of players, management and committee. And I'm only instead of blowing, but they've made me feel part of their community, and hopefully for a long time to come.
Indeed, and I was just going to say, what's the magic that Jody takes then? You said you were here 3 years ago with Donaghmoyne and success. You're here with Magheracloone for the success. So what is it?
Well, Sean, as a player, I lost 5 finals. I never won a championship medal. It was something that was levelled at me. I suppose I played for 27 years for the beloved Kirk. And lucky enough in this decade, Sean, the thing is turned because in 2011 I managed my own club, Kirk, to win a championship. And of course then Donaghmoyne winning along with Paudie Martin, who will always be one of my closest friends in football. One really great man and a great Donaghmoyne man. So I was delighted to be involved in that. But as I said, you have to live it in the present. But this is a really sweet day for me.
It is indeed. Well, listen, congratulations, well done, and enjoy the rest of the journey.
Yeah, Sean, I'd like to say too, I said it 3 years ago to you, your coverage of the club championship, both in Cavan and Monaghan, both here doing the videos, but also in Northern Sound. I'm out early in the morning like yourself, listening to you. You've done a tremendous job. I know you won an award this year. I'd like to congratulate you on that and your whole team. Congratulations, Sean, and I hope to see you over the Ulster campaign.
Good stuff, Jody. Thanks a million. Thank you. Joined here by the winning captain. I think I said on the media night I'd take pleasure maybe in chasing him around the field to get him afterwards, and I've been doing that, Pete. Congratulations, job done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, job done. Shaky start. We knew Donaghmoyne. Donaghmoyne was second in the league and very consistent all year, so we knew they were a good football team. They get a ball in their forward line, they would cause anyone trouble. Thankfully, the first goal settled us down, and the second goal after time really put us on the home straight, so it did.
It did, yeah, very nearly in for a goal at the start. Obviously, it was a free then. Allan put that one over. Yeah. Donaghmoyne up the field, 3 unanswered points. But as you said, when that goal went in, and Paudie caught us all off guard because he hit us such power went through the net, we didn't even know.
We knew if we could get enough ball into our forwards, we could cause some trouble. There's pace in our forward line, and Allan McCahey, deadly accurate, and Tommy, all these boys, there's pace. So we knew if we get ball in, we could cause some trouble, so we could.
I did, and you've done that in fairness. They come back, a goal of their own level matters, but it was important. You took in a 3-point lead at the break.
Yeah, Donaghmoyne were never going to roll over. First game of the year, we were 10 points up here in the league, and they came back and drew. Emmy Vale nearly had them better out the gate, and they came back on one day, so they did. And then against Carduff, they never said ice right there, so they were never going to roll over, Donaghmoyne. They're good, strong teams, so they are. And they'll have a big say in the league yet. They'll have a massive say.
I was just I noted it there when you were saying your speech, and I know I talked to you again on the media night as well. A dramatic 12-18 months for everybody involved in Magheracloone. It's a lovely way to have wrapped it up with silverware now at the end, isn't it?
It is. It's kind of gone full circle. We were standing here this time last year after Inniskeen beating us in a league match, which pretty much relegated us, so it did. And then the facilities were gone, so you couldn't really go any lower. But as I said, the committee never took the right of the ball. They backed the team, so they backed the management. Anything we asked for, we got. So it's a credit to them. And the work that went on this year, it's unbelievable. So it is. So it's a massive reward for them to see this here today.
Well, listen, congratulations, well done.
Thanks very much, Sean. Thank you.
Cheers. Chairman of the club here, Francis, a relief, a bit of pressure off the shoulders.
Bit of pressure off the shoulders, yeah. It's great to get over the line. Like, you know, we're top of the league, playing good football all year, but until you cross that line and get over that hurdle and get back to senior football where we want to be, you know what I mean?
Which is the big thing, and that's where you are for 2020.
Big thing, yeah, 2020. Like we were up since 1987. We relegated last year. On top of everything else, it's well documented what happened to us, you know. But to be relegated was a serious body blow to us. So it's great. Boys put in great effort. Management, players, the whole club to get back. Big push to get back senior football, and that was our goal at the beginning of the year, was to get back senior football. And thankfully, the day we we got there.
You achieved that. It's probably not an easy thing to do, but sometimes out of the midst of things like that happened, as you noted there, away from the club, that's what maybe can galvanise a side as well, that you think, well, what more can go against us here? Let's look up.
Yeah. Sometimes if you've no luck, you have bad luck. You know what I mean? Whatever that saying is. Yeah. Listen, you gotta galvanise. The club did. The players on the field said we want to get back senior football. They obviously realised they didn't do enough last year to stay in senior football. They put all the effort in. The train series hard all year. Started with signing addition early in the year, which is something new for us actually. So we're trying to bring that in across the board. But been a serious effort all year, and thankfully they got the rewards today.
It's lovely to see as well the youngsters it's all about here. It's one thing I noted even there, half time they got their run out on the pitch, even here at the end, all the young ones was up around at the team and that as well. And they're the ones that'll be looking up, and that's the future.
Yeah, I have to say, Magheracloone have a good structure right down the whole way. They have a good juvenile committee, coaches, all that, putting a serious effort in. Thankfully we're building, like we contest under 11s done well this year, under 13s won a final, under 15s, 17s won 2 finals, you know what I mean? So we're building and we're on the up, hopefully.
Well, that's the most important thing. You'll enjoy this one.
I definitely enjoyed this one, yeah. As you say, it's a bit of pressure off now, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, until you get across that line, it's always difficult, but thankfully we're there and we'll enjoy it tonight.
Indeed, why not? Congratulations.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Johnny David, Michael Jones and Tommy Freeman. I just seen them getting a picture with the cup there as well, lads. Listen, you have experienced the ups and downs of championship days, Michael, and this is one of those up days. Silverware on the table.
It definitely is one of those up days. Listen, myself and Tommy started off playing football together. I think it was back in 97 and 88, so we've been there a while. We've seen plenty of down days, but it's good for the parish and good for the club and good for the young lads coming on to get a win, and you can't beat a win for confidence and get back up playing senior football. So
indeed, the most important thing. Tommy, you sort of made a return back into the fold, so you did, I suppose, with the club, and I don't know, did you ever expect to be days like this again? I know someone says it's only an intermediate title. It doesn't matter, it's a championship title.
Yeah, listen, as Michael says, silverware to us, you know, we've let plenty of them behind us today, so listen, today's a great day for the club, especially with what went on off the field. You know, we lost the whole facilities. And the only thing I was afraid of, that we were going to lose some of our future stars from the under 6 up, but great credit goes to the parents that, you know, who travelled all around the country until we got a settled training facility for ourselves. You know, I made a comeback. You know, I said no, that was it. My boots was hung up, but when the doorbell rang and you have a few boys, this man to the right of me giving you a few WhatsApp to try and come back, and I said, listen, I wanted only to make an impact on the team, and if I thought I wasn't fit, I would have stayed away. But you know, myself and Michael, as he says, we're around since 97, 98, seen a lot of bad days, seen some good days. Today's a good day. We're going to celebrate tonight, and then, you know, we have also now to look forward to try and represent the county the best we can in that.
Well, listen, congratulations to you both. Well done, and I say you'll enjoy this one.
Yeah, we'll enjoy this one back to Tracy's Hotel, our main sponsor, for, you know, something to eat and a couple of pints of my Waddy Orange, and we'll take it from there.
You go with the Ribena?
I'll stick with the Ribena, yeah. I could be the safest option, I'd say. So,
listen, well done, lad.
Thanks very much.
Well done, Michael. Well done. Well, as you can see, Magheracloone remaining on the field behind us here in Park Grattan. They're enjoying this one. They're the intermediate champions for 2019. They have claimed the Paudie O'Rourke Cup with a 217-112 win over Donaghmoyne.
I will fight for you. I always do, until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay with you. We'll make it to the other side, like lovers do. I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours too, until I can wait for you. I'll wait for you. 'Cause I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give Now we'll I'll hold on to you. No matter what this world throws, it won't shake me loose. I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to enter like I wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left, so don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes, I'm not going down that easily, so don't give up on me. I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue.